All right, friends, so today we are making a powerhouse soup. Now, if you're somebody that deals with panic attacks, depression, anxiety, maybe you're in perimenopause or going through menopause, this soup is something that you're going to 100% want to put into your arsenal and into your weekly rotation. Now, this soup is mushroom soup. Now, if you've been following along with me, you know that I've been on an animal-based diet for about a year now. So if you are struggling with your mental health, something to consider might be beef liver or beef heart. And if you've been following along with me, you also know that I have been dosing a lot of different probiotics that have been game-changing in my gut health and my mental health. A few of those are bifidobacterium infantis, bifidobacterium longum, and lactobacillus reuteri or L. reuteri. Now I'll put some links in the description box from Dr. William Davis, who his lectures have been game-changing for me. I am somebody who went through a bone marrow transplant. I had sickle cell disease up until I was 26, and an allogenic bone marrow transplant cured me of the sickle cell. Unfortunately, that put my body into premature ovarian failure and early menopause. So the fertility thing has also been a journey for me. But because of all the treatments that I went through childhood, taking a lot of antibiotics, going through chemotherapy, I have struggled tremendously with my mental health. Ruminations, hallucinations, really bad panic attacks, unable to leave the house. But anyway, you can find all that other stuff in some other videos. But today I want to show you guys about mushroom soup. Now, I know some of y'all are like, I don't like mushrooms. Listen, my husband was the exact same way. He was somebody who was not into mushrooms at all, but broths are the most healing thing that you can do on your healing journey when you're trying to heal your gut and heal your mind. And so I wanted to get mushrooms into his diet, and also I'm just a soup head, and this was the only way I could get it into his diet. And now, before he was, I hate mushrooms, but now and he's also been like, I am so sick of soup, when are we gonna stop eating soup? But every single week, my husband is like, when are you making mushroom soup? It is his favorite. Now, I also love this soup because it serves as a prebiotic. I used to feel really weird about leftover food, like leftover rice and things like that. But as I have been learning about probiotics and prebiotics, I have learned that potatoes specifically create something called resistance starch. So this is a really great soup because we always have a little bit of leftovers, and so I don't have to make food and prepare prebiotics. So this is an already natural prebiotic soup because we are using those russet potatoes, because when they're left over, they develop that resistant starch. And so it is the perfect starch for feeding a bifidobacterium longum or a bifidobacterium infantis, which all of you guys need to get on because it is an essential microbe in our guts that is missing in a huge amount of the population, which I'm gonna have some other videos here on the channel about antibiotics and how they are completely ruining you. But like I said, if you're somebody that's going through perimenopause, menopause, struggling with anxiety, depression, panic attacks, mushrooms are a must in your diet. I love this soup. We have it nearly every week, and it has been amazing for me. I will say this, if I don't finish making this soup by 4 or 5 p.m., I will not eat it in the evening because it does keep me awake at night. So for me, I don't know if you guys have sensitive bodies out there, but I 100% have a very sensitive system. And when I started having this mushroom soup for dinner, I was like super restless at night. Like, what is wrong with me? And then I looked it up, and mushrooms are just really heavy in helping your neurotransmitters. So this soup is highly, highly, highly effective. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. I've been chatting enough. Let me show you how to make this soup. These are our mushrooms. I know it looks like a lot, but it's not. I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna tell you a little bit about each one. And before I do that, I do want you to know that mushrooms contain a lot of anti-nutrients, and it can be hard for your body to absorb the nutrients that these contain. So it is very important that you cook these for at least 3 hours. I like to throw mine in the Instant Pot and I just pressure cook them for 3 hours. and it helps make the mushrooms more bioavailable. So first and foremost, we are going to be using shiitake mushrooms. Shiitake, is that how you say it in British? I don't know. Anyway, these are the queen for immune support. These are gonna be rich in your beta-glucans. They're gonna help boost your white blood cells. They're gonna support heart health and lower that LDL cholesterol, promote circulation, and this is really key for menopausal women dealing with any cardiovascular changes. So shiitake are a really great one. I'm just gonna give you guys a few bullet points because you have Google and you have the internet and we're in 2025. All right, next up we have lion's mane. Now I got all of my mushrooms from the farmer's market except for my lion's mane. When I got to the market this week, I was late and he was out of lion's mane. But usually on the bottom of the lion's mane, whole paychecks cut it off. But there's literally like that place where it usually looks like this, but it's something like this. It's a little grimier. I think I have some old footage of it, so I'll put it here in the video. But lion's mane we see everywhere now in commercial stores. They're putting it in tinctures. But lion's mane is the ultimate brain food. It's gonna stimulate nerve growth. It's gonna help with your memory, with your focus, and it's even gonna help with your mood, with the brain fog, with the anxiety. Lion's mane is a must for the mental clarity and neuroprotection. And you're gonna see this everywhere. Everyone now is lion's mane, and you will feel the same benefits just from having it in the soup. So if you can get this into your diet, oh, you're gonna be so great. Lion's mane is a must. All right, so this is our king oyster, our king, dun 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 dun. And this one is gonna be a really powerful antioxidant. It's gonna help reduce oxidative stress. It's gonna help protect your cells from aging. It's gonna support collagen production. And that is a big deal, especially when your estrogen drops and you're a woman that is in menopause. So you wanna have king oysters. They're gonna help boost the elasticity, baby, in your skin. So these are the king oysters. Whenever I'm at the market, I just am like, just give me a little of everything. He's like, how much? I'm like, just a little of everything. All right, so this is our blue oyster. And again, I was late to the market this week and he was out of gold oyster. So maybe I'll even make the video again so you can see it with the gold oyster. But these are blue oyster mushrooms. Guys, don't be intimidated. I know it's like, oh, what do I do with that? I'm gonna give you the simplest recipe. So these blue oysters are packed with anti-inflammatory compounds that can reduce stress on your body. They can help support detoxification. They're gonna help you with hormone balance, metabolism, especially with the estrogen metabolism changes with your age. So these are the blue oyster and the gold oyster have a very similar nutritional profile. So they're just gold and they look pretty similar. So I usually do the blue and gold oysters, but he was out, so we're just having that. All right, so these are our pioppino. They were bunched together, but I think they fell apart in the bag. The pioppinos, if that's how you say it, I'm sure the mushroom police is out there and gonna be like, that's not how you say it, whatever, okay? So these are the pioppino. So these pioppino are pretty underrated. They're high in dietary fiber, which that fiber is gonna help feed your probiotics in your gut, because we're all about gut health, and they're gonna help with digestion. And a healthy gut means better hormone balance and a stronger immune system and even an improved mood. So these are the pioppino. These are also gonna help you with mood boosting properties. Is that why you say it? Mood boosting property, or mood boosting, I don't know. Editing Sierra here. I forgot to pick up the maitake mushrooms, which these are really great in regulating estrogen metabolism. They're going to support your immune function because of the rich beta-glucans. They're great at helping balance insulin sensitivity. They're great for heart health, energy, metabolism, and they contain those B vitamins and antioxidants that help combat fatigue and support your adrenal health. And then lastly, friends, we have, golly, he only gave me two. I just realized he only gave me two. But these are our cremini. Why did he only give me two? I don't know why I didn't say anything. So these are our cremini, and these are classic. You'll see these in white buttons in your grocery store. My farmer doesn't, I don't ever see him with white button, but I always see him with cremini. So with cremini, it's a classic. They're rich in B vitamins, which I'm never worried about B vitamins really, because I do nutritional yeast and I also eat an animal-based diet. So I am getting the B vitamins from my beef liver, from my beef heart, but these are going to help support your adrenal health with energy. They're also going to give you selenium, an antioxidant that's going to help your thyroid function, and that's key for your metabolism. So that's just a little bit about these mushrooms. You can go do your own research, but now what I'm going to do is I am going to thoroughly wash these, and we'll be back. And I'm not, when I wash them, I'm not going to cut off any of these bottom pieces. I'm not going to cut them at all. I always leave it on. So I'm just going to wash everything, and then we're going to move forward. All right, so I've washed off all of my mushrooms, and here is my Instant Pot. So I'm just dumping those mushrooms in there. So now I'm going to add in some filtered water into our mushrooms. It doesn't have to be submerged in water. And if you want, you can add a splash of apple cider vinegar to help further break it down. I don't do this all the time, but sometimes I do, because why not? Just a splash of ACV. And you can add salt if you want now, or you can wait to add the salt later to your broth. So let's put the lid on this, and we're gonna cook this for 3 hours. It's on seal. And then I'm just going to push pressure cook and then start. It is 11:57 a.m. And so this is gonna be done just in time for dinner. All right, friends, so there is 55 minutes left on the Instant Pot. So right now, with that 55 minutes left, this recipe is what's better than garlic, more garlic. It's like garlic palooza. So while there's an hour left, I am going to go ahead and peel all this garlic, chop it up. I'm also gonna put this onion, and I'm gonna show you how I slice that up. And then these are the russet potatoes. So while I peel the garlic, I'm gonna talk to you for a second. So I have done variations of this recipe. I have used sweet potatoes. My husband was like, what do you think it would taste like with sweet potatoes? It wasn't very good, and it wasn't very creamy. I mean, we ate it because we were like, we're not gonna waste food. If you wanna use red potatoes or Yukon Gold, just an FYI, those don't turn very creamy whenever you're making you want a creamy soup. So I always recommend using russet? I don't know, I'm sure I'm butchering the name of the potato, but russet potatoes I like to use for any hearty soup. You can see lots of garlic. Like, the more garlic, the better. Okay, so we like this to be a very hearty soup, so I don't chop up the garlic into really small pieces. Rather, I just kind of cut them into these small slices. And so, as you can see, that took a little bit of time. So I'm going to put those here in my stainless steel pot. And then I'm going to go ahead and chop up the potatoes. So the reason that I leave the skin on the potatoes is because, for one, I buy organic. Let's hope they're organic. They are rich in potassium, magnesium, iron, good dietary fiber. So I just wash them really, really, really well. And really, I leave the skin on because I notice that we can always have a little bit more potassium. Everybody is deficient in magnesium. So I love to leave the skins on for that reason. It took me a pretty long time to chop the garlic because we're down to 5 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and start getting these washed and cut. This just finished. So now we're gonna go, you could let it vent out on its own, or you could push vent and let it come out on its own like that. For any of my baby sister friend, nieces and nephews, I'm just gonna show you because I know I had a couple of them watching my videos. I just cut the potato like that, cut it like that. So that's how I cube them. I just cubed the potatoes. And as you can see there, we got a lot of potatoes. All right, so let's open this. Ooh, look at our mushrooms, guys. You guys have a dirty mind just like I do. What does this look like? I gotta have a little fun, right? Okay, it looks like I cut one off and put it in soup. Okay, I gotta stop. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna pull this out and we're going to put the broth over the potatoes. Right now, I have my broth and I'm just going to pour the broth into my little container here. Just the broth, which I probably should have put a little more water in there, but that's okay. Here's the broth, and I just want to add this too, that if you're somebody who does not want to make this soup, you could also get your mushrooms from your farmer and you could make your own mushroom broth to have in the morning to give you that good mental clarity or that pick-me-up. So I had a little bit of extra mushroom broth from another batch and I took it out of the freezer. And right now I'm just warming it up on the back stove back there because I think I'm gonna need a little extra broth. So I'm just warming this up back there. So maybe put a little more water in your Instant Pot when you make yours. Cook my potatoes and my garlic in this. I'll add the broth once it's done. I mean, that's pretty good. The broth's up to here, but I do think I'm gonna want a little more broth. Look at that little teeny tiny mushroom, so cute. I'm gonna go ahead and put in my mushrooms into my Vitamix. If you wanted to, you could chop up your mushrooms, a few of these mushrooms into little teeny tiny bits to have little bits of mushroom pieces in your soup. My husband does not. My husband, he doesn't love the texture of mushrooms, and I like to make him happy. So anyway, he works so hard for me, so I want to make it delicious for him. So it's just the little things, you know. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna blend it all up. If you're considering buying a Vitamix, it comes with a big 64-ounce container, but I bought this little mini one, and it is the best decision I ever made because you can make smaller batches of things. Golly, this is loud. It's almost melted. Here is some of that extra mushroom broth, and I'm just pouring it in there. I'll just put all of it, because why not? And then I'm gonna go ahead and put the lid on that. Next up, I have this onion, and I like to just cut it up into very thin slices. Now we are sauteing a little bit of butter. So this is what I meant when I said that I made the onions really nice and thin, like this. We like to have a really nice chunk to the soup. I have just straight added the onions to the broth before, but the onions sauteed, caramelized, are just delicious this way rather than just adding them into the broth. The other thing I forgot to add, which I'm going to chop up right now, is some jalapeno. Here are the fresh jalapenos. We'll just add these to the saute. You can also add in Thai chilies or habaneros. I've used any sort of peppers that I have on hand. It just adds in a nice flavor, and I wouldn't even say it gives it a kick. I wouldn't even say that, but this smells delicious. This smells amazing. And then let's see our potatoes. They are very soft. You can see, nice and soft. While these are sauteing, we're now going to prep. I got some rosemary out of my garden, which we just moved, so I don't have any fresh thyme. These were my rosemaries in my pots, and I left my thyme in my other garden bed. So I'm gonna take some rosemary off of the stems, and here I have our mushrooms in the Vitamix, and so we are going to blend in the rosemary with the mushrooms. So here are our mushrooms. I've got some, I'm gonna save some of this rosemary because we're gonna chop that up. But I'm gonna put this rosemary into the Vitamix. And then I've got some local heavy cream. I'll pour some cream in here. And we're gonna blend it till it's creamy. Alrighty here. So now we have that mushroom puree. And we're gonna add this to our soup. And if you want to add another liquid like some chicken broth or some oxtail broth. Babe, did you use the rest of my oxtail broth?
No.
Oh, you didn't? Is it in the fridge?
Everything you gave, I put back in the freezer.
Oh, okay. We're gonna put this I'll put this in here. And really good. And I'm probably gonna add in a little bit of my homemade oxtail broth, a little more broth, so we don't water it down. These onions are nice and caramelized. They look delicious. So we're gonna put the onions in once I put the immersion blender in here, just for a few pulses. But the potatoes are pretty soft. I'm kind of smashing them in with this. I may not even need to use the immersion blender this time. All right, so in order to clean out my Vitamix there, I just added a bit more cream. You guys, my potatoes are so soft, I don't even need to go in with my immersion blender. I usually pulse the immersion blender a couple of times just to take out some of the chunks so we have all that creamy goodness. But it's already creamed on its own, which I told you is the beauty of the russet potato. So this is creamed very lovely. So now I'm gonna go in and I'm just gonna add in my caramelized onions. Like I said, you can chop your onions up into small little pieces if you want, but I like to make this like a manly soup. It's manly, babe.
It's very manly.
It's manly, so you get the chunks of things. You like it chunky, don't you, baby?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? Don't be acting brand new.
This is brand new to me, my love.
You are like, I don't like slurping my calories. He's like, this is good because it's hearty. And I want to act brand new. So I just put those onions in there. And then we're going to add in some herbs and some Celtic salt. And if you want yours more brothier, you can add a little bit more broth. But it's very hearty. All right, friends, so the last piece of this is I've got some local ground beef from our local farmer's market. And so now I'm going to just cook up the ground beef here in the cast iron, and then we're going to add it to the soup. I just finished boiling this oxtail broth. So I'm just going to pour some of the oxtail broth in here. And that's going to loosen it up a bit. There's our ground beef. Really pretty pink ground beef. Ground beef is done, and I like to really chop it up so we get nice little bits of ground beef all throughout. Because the other one was dark. But anyway, okay, so we're going to just put this one in there. Like that. And let's give that a stir in there. It's very hearty. It's a hearty soup. And like I said, it's a great prebiotic because it sits in the potato, creates that resistant starch, and that's going to feed your good probiotics. And there is our hearty soup. I'm going to save this broth for whenever I want to heat a little bit up so I don't have to water it down. All the flavors will meld together. And today it's going to taste really good, but tomorrow It is going to be absolutely delicious. There is a full written recipe of this soup on sisterfriend.com. And don't forget to add your email to the site so that you can be a part of the Sister Friend community and be the first to find out about any new health benefits and get delicious, nutritious, healthy recipes delivered straight to your inbox.